What's that even mean?
Why are these Mexican fucking candies so good, dude? I feel like...
I don't think I said the M so hard, you know?
What?
You said the M pretty hard, you know?
What's the M?
I don't know. You said kind of like, you know, these I don't know.
What?
I felt kind of low-key. Like, whoa.
Damn, the M. I was like, I didn't even register for a second. I was like, what are you saying?
Welcome to episode 33 of the Bibhor and Oskar podcast. Bienvenidos. We have made it to another week. Slowly but surely. They said we wouldn't make it, but here we are.
How many episodes? 33?
33 episodes.
Damn. How do you say that in Spanish, Oskar?
33.
Hey.
I've been practicing all day.
Now, going back to that question that we brought up earlier. What is the oldest language? Where does it all come from?
Let's find out, man. What is the oldest language? Sorry, we've been here chatting for a bit. Kind of trying to figure out different things going on with a lot of different
oldest
things.
written language, I feel like...
So the oldest attested written language is Sumerian. But they're talking about like kind of history-wise, what is the oldest? I don't think it necessarily means what is the longest. Do you mean like what is the longest existing language, I guess?
Like, I don't know. I guess like hieroglyphics technically are considered like language.
Oldest language still in use today. Here you go. Tamil.
Yeah. Damn, that's that old? Like,
earliest written records, inscriptions, and literature date back to at least 300 BCE. Some linguistic studies suggest its ancestral form, Proto-Dravidian, may have been spoken as far back as the 4th millennium BCE.
That is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, so widely spoken as a primary language in around 78 million people in South India, Sri Lanka, and Singapore. And then second to that is Greek. Yeah. It's Greek.
Other very old languages include Sanskrit, Hebrew, and Aramaic. Chinese, like...
Aramaic? Hebrew? Aramaic.
Sanskrit.
What?
Sanskrit?
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, so... I don't know too much about language. I shouldn't be, like, talking too much, but... Like, the word mother in English and the word mother in, like, Sanskrit are very similar sounding, like, words. I think even, like, if you go Latin words and, like, Sanskrit words, some of the words are very, like, similar sounding words. Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, who knows? So Greek. Greek is the beginning of it all.
Damn.
I don't know how we got onto that conversation about just the connections between languages.
What do you know about some Greek philosophers?
Plato?
Plato.
Yeah. What do you want to know about some Greek philosophers, man?
There is this guy his name is Dionysus.
Yeah.
Do you know about Dionysus?
I've heard of Dionysus, yes.
Dionysus is called the Cynic. Dionysus the Cynic. Alexander the Great once came to Dionysus and said, Dionysus, what do you want? You know what he said to Alexander the Great? He said, get out of my son. Alexander the Great said, if I wasn't Alexander the Great, I would be Dionysus. Because that's how free this man is.
I looked Dionysus, the Greek goddess.
The Cynic. I think his name is I might be saying it wrong, actually. I might just be, like, speaking out of my ass, like... Who is Look, I actually made a video about this, and it got pretty famous on one of my TikTok channel. But look it up. Look for Greek philosopher, the Cynic.
The Cynic, okay. Is that how you spell it?
I don't know how to... That's completely wrong, dude. That's just, like... That's almost borderline, like, racist at this point. What are you writing, dude?
Greek philosopher, the Cynic.
It's not how you speak Cynic, dude. Is it Dionysus? Dionysus. I don't know how to say it. But this guy was a total gangster, dude. Like, he was just like... He was...
Diogenes.
Diogenes. Okay, go up. So basically, he was just a gangster. Like, this guy was just like... He wouldn't bathe and shit. Like, he would do all kinds of like weird shit just to like... Like, he would go up. And there was a whole thing about him and a chicken. He did something with the chicken. Like, he had a... Like... There's probably a video, dude. I'm like just like blurbing out shit and not really saying anything at this point.
So according to this, how do we? That was quick. Dionysus, excuse me. Dionysus is a figure who truly embodied and popularized cynicism. Though the school was technically founded by Antisthenes, a student of Socrates, Dionysus' entire life was a public critique of society, making him one of the most memorable philosophers of the ancient world. He had some radical aestheticism. He rejected wealth, social status, and possessions, living a life of extreme simplicity and poverty. He famously resided in a large ceramic jar or tub in the marketplace of Athens and owned almost nothing. He was living according to nature. Physis. The core of his philosophy was the belief that happiness comes from living a virtuous life that is accordance with nature, which meant rejecting the artificial confining conventions of human society. Conventions of human society.
Look at this. Look at some of the encounters, the famous encounters. It's called the lamp. He often was seen walking around Athens in broad daylight with a lit lamp, saying he's looking for an honest man. Think how hard that hits. He was telling you that there is no honest men. Because you can't find them. Even in the brightest of days, there are no honest men.
Dang.
You know? Look at that. That was the one I was trying to tell you earlier about Alexander the Great. So when Alexander the Great came to visit him, basically he offered him, like, what do you want? He said, and Dionysus basically said, stand out of my light. So I was saying, literally, the Alexander the Great comes to see you, and he asks you what you want, and you said, like, get the fuck out of my son, dude. Think how, like, gangster that is. You know?
The great Alexander, the conqueror, yeah? The empire of his land. Have you ever seen Alexander?
The movie?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Was that with Colin Farrell?
Was it? I don't know. I thought it was... It's been a long time since I've seen that.
It's been a long time.
He was I mean, it's really hard to like contextualize what he did.
Did you ever want to be Alexander the Great?
I think so. I think every yeah. I mean, yeah. I'm not. I feel like only certain people have that kingly ambition. Like that is very hard to find. Someone that is that level of like Julius Caesar, or even like Napoleon, Charlemagne, like all these folks throughout history that are like these great conquerors, Saladin, right? Like even like someone like Christopher Columbus, like these guys are like just they gotta be built different. You know what I'm saying? You're not normal in the head if you're not that. If you have that type of thought, like you some little like
you gotta be a little off, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I guess so.
Like, what? Like
to an extent, yeah. I learned a fun fact the other day that even though Christopher Columbus is kind of known for discovering the Americas, even though he landed in the Caribbean, America was named after the Italian who actually discovered, who kind of really figured out and kind of said, no, there's an actual continent in between. Something
Amerigo Vespucci.
That's who it was. Yeah.
You know who he was? He was the navigator of Christopher Columbus's ship.
Was he the navigator of it?
That's why it was named America. So it's
but he wasn't on that ship. But he sailed separately.
I know Amerigo Vespucci. I think he was Christopher Columbus's navigator.
He was an Italian explorer, navigator, and cartographer who played a pivotal role in the early European exploration of the New World. He is one of the most significant figures in the age of discovery, chiefly because of his intellectual contribution. He was one of the first to propose that the newly discovered lands were not the eastern coast of Asia, but an entirely separate continent.
Oh, I guess he was like on a different ship, maybe.
While Christopher Columbus died, believing he had reached Vespucci, realized a massive landmass. Let's see if he.
I think they were on the same ship.
Let's find out. I'll ask.
Were they
Did Vespucci and Columbus
homies? Were they homies, dude? Ride or die, dude. If you're traveling back then, if you're in the fucking 1500s and you're like, yo, dude, like Oskar, let's go to the New World. You have committed to go and die with me, dude. Like that's what you
straight
said.
up? You're pretty much saying like, well,
We might go fight. Wait, what? Like, think about that. Think how scary that is. Like, do you understand how scary that is? You, up to this point in your life, have believed that the Earth is fucking flat. So, like, think about that. There are many flat earthers at the time when Columbus was sailing west.
you thought that people just thought you just
No,
sailed
yeah,
off,
that was a a semi. You are not a weirdo for thinking like that.
yeah. No one is that.
And then just to be like, yo, like like you call up a couple of your homies and be, yo, we're gonna go see this. We're gonna see the edge of the world. You like think how much of a just like fuck, like you can just live in a good life in fucking Portugal. Like life probably sucked too. Like I don't want to like overhype that like it was some sort of like great life. You're probably getting fucking the bubonic plague. Like life probably wasn't that great. Like
I mean, but you're probably better off over there, yeah.
well, either is that or you just die. Like, but like you could also die. Like, think about like what if you run into like wasn't there like a colony in Roanoke? Is it called Roanoke? The colony that just disappeared. Like everybody was wiped out, right? Like that was like a somewhere in Virginia. Like the first settler just like this. Yeah, so like that could like you just got fucking capped, dude. Like,
Well, I mean, no one knows what happened. They might have just left.
yeah, yeah. No one knows what happened, Oskar. They just left. Like, yeah. Like okay.
There's a whole like Netflix series, Roanoke, or
What do you like? Okay, so
Netflix.
you have you heard of this like issue in like the UK with like rise of like immigrants from foreign countries coming to like the UK and stuff? Like you've heard about that, right?
How many are here?
No, I know, but like, okay.
It's the same. Is it populism? It's the same rhetoric that.
No. But like, okay, I'm gonna put America a little bit on this side.
But I have heard it over there.
Okay, so America, right? Like, I guess you can't really make that. Okay. I feel like the British, right, directly colonized these other lands, right? Like these, like even let's just say a lot of those people that are coming to the UK are like probably like India and Pakistan, like right, the two of the largest like British colonies, like, and it's just kind of like, oh crap, like this is like the other that has come full circle, dude. Like what, like.
Kind of ironic, I guess, in that sense.
Yeah.
They're kind of like, well, it's like, dude.
And I think like I don't want to put America in that situation because like this is a separate land dispute that happened here between America and like Mexico and stuff like that. Right? It's a separate land, but like what happened there is like okay, like no. There was a foreign power for a long time that completely colonized that whole part of the world, and just like and not that distant in the future, like not that long ago, right? Like in the 1940s. They just said, okay, guys, like you guys are like independent. And now, like, they're saying go back. But, like, didn't you guys do this shit not that long ago?
It's like, dude, I'm here because of you. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's
I just think that's such a, like, that one is, like, kind of like that.
I mean, it is complicated. Because, like, I mean, there's different parts of Europe getting different parts. Like Europe, I guess, they're South America and their Mexico is, I guess, like Africa, I guess. Different issues, different kind of.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. And also, I feel like Europe is smaller. Like the inflow of traffic coming into Europe is a lot bigger, and then Europe itself is a lot small.
Yeah.
Versus like the inflow of traffic coming to America is a lot smaller. Like there aren't that many. Like if you really count, like south of like what is the population south of the United States, so Mexico and below? Like, what's the population of the entire South America and everything
600
not
million
America
people.
and Canada?
Just all of South America?
All of South America and all of North America minus US and Canada.
Okay.
Like, what's that?
I would say a billion people.
Yeah. Comparatively
Maybe,
to, like,
I don't know.
think about, like, how many people are trying to go to Europe. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, like, you got most of Africa. You got all of, like, Asia and, like,
Approximately 665 to 670 million, if you count.
See, like,
Of
it's
the
just
Americas.
you're just working with less. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like a smaller problem. And plus, like, I feel like because Europe is a lot smaller, the problem gets amplified a lot bigger. And plus, it's just from, like, there's just more. Like, just the volume is probably a lot bigger too. Right?
Yeah. I mean, also like like the countries, the cultures over there. Yeah, I imagine more so. It's like it's a lot more.
But I also feel like who's coming to, like, France? It's probably people that French people colonized because there's language. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like let's come on, come on. Like, am I like? It's just like.
Yeah. I hear what you're saying. Yeah.
I don't think like. So Senegal, right? I think Senegal's a country. Right? I don't know what the fuck it is. Okay, Senegal, I think speaks majority French, right? So if I'm somebody in Senegal,
Côte d'Ivoire.
and I'm trying to, like, go to Europe, where do you think I'm gonna go? Just throw me a fucking wild guess here. Like, where do you think I'm gonna go? Like, I don't know. This is what it is.
A country that speaks French.
Yeah, like, come on, like, or like if you like, yeah.
I mean, I guess that used to be like Spain for a lot of like. I mean, South America.
Yeah, then you probably would go to Spain.
Yeah, it's kind of like
Like, if you're from Morocco, you probably go into Spain. Like,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, but like, is that
It just makes sense. Yeah,
is that
it's
too
just-
far? Like, like that is not that like.
Yeah, I don't think it's that far. Let's hold on. Like like Marrakesh. Where's Marrakesh? Marrakesh is almost like the middle of Morocco.
I would love to, like, just go, like, fucking
to Marrakesh.
just travel, dude. Like,
Just okay.
just like just be done working and just, like, travel, like, spend like 2 months in, like, fucking Portugal.
Do you buy the lottery?
Huh?
Do you buy the lottery?
I did not, dude. I realized
Dude, you gotta buy
they upped the price,
Oh, it's $5 for the minimum.
and I just was like, this year it's a scam now.
But but they lowered the price, or I'm not sure they lowered it, but the other ones, which maybe you only win like $10 million, maybe that's all you need, but these are dollars.
Oh, it's today. It's tomorrow.
This one's tomorrow, the 965.
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna go buy that tomorrow then.
Yeah. I bought one yesterday. I gotta buy another. I may buy another one. Let's find out. I might buy the Powerball. These ones are $2, I think.
Dude, it'd be so lit.
The
to
ones
win
that you have the
lottery.
best odds, though, oddly enough, are the Super Lotto.
Is that true?
Yeah, it tells you the odds.
Dude, we just gotta get event picks, dude. We gotta stop. We gotta believe in what we can do, dude. This is like, we're not gonna win the lottery, dude. There's higher chance that event picks fucking just blows up and we make like a couple of mils. Like, if I have a couple of mils, bro, I would just travel the world. Like, I feel like I would probably need like 10. Just being
10 million?
10. If you think about it, you gotta have 10 million after tax,
Dude, I already got it planned out. I could do it with like 3.
You just saying that your burn rate's going to be too high, inflation is going to eat it up. Like, you're not going to, like, you think about that now, and then it's really not realistic. You say that, like, oh, I'll do it, but it's really not realistic. Like
I guess you're right. I guess
gonna live a lot longer.
Well, I mean, you're saying to be like fully retired, right? You don't have to work or do a lift a finger.
I mean, go like, fuck. I mean, what? Okay, so like, pull up something so you can write some stuff down real quick. So like, what do you need when you're retired? Like, let's just look that up. Like, what are the things that like, fucking you're gonna need?
Well,
let's just go write down things. Let's write down things. Rent.
Food. Well, no, because again, if I had
Okay,
that,
so you're assuming your rent's gonna be paid off.
I'm assuming, yeah.
You're gonna have a house.
Yeah.
Okay, so you still have to write taxes and property tax and
Yeah.
HOA and property tax and HOA. Okay, write that.
So okay, yeah, property tax, HOA.
Okay. And so that's going to be like, let's say, depending if you have how big is your house? Say if you have a paid off house, I assume at that point the house is going to be worth $2 million. Property tax is going to be 2%, 1% or 1.5. That's at like that's $1,500 a month, dude.
Property tax.
You got to also think about like like you don't have a house now, but so by the time you get a house, like $26,000 a month. Okay.
Annually,
yeah. So what is that? Fucking
21.
Okay, 20.
That's without the
It's not even HOA added. Okay, so like
Okay,
just.
so let's just say 27, just to be safe. It's a big fucking.
Okay, utilities. Like, damn, I just crushed your
I
dream.
don't want to fucking buy a house. I'm not gonna buy a $2 million house, dude.
No,
I'm just gonna buy the ugliest house in the nicest neighborhood, dude.
You don't understand. You know what my manager said one time to me? He's like, Bob, like, and this guy was fucking loaded. I realized now he was loaded. He lives in Dana Point, and he's like, Bob, when I said I was like gonna buy a house, I wanted a nice house. So he bought a house in Dana Point in like the 80s for like $800,000, and he's like, I always wanted to have $1 million house.
$800,000 in the 80s?
Yeah.
Wow.
And well, probably in the 90s. But he then said, Bob, I always wanted $1 million house. And he said, when I got $1 million house, when my house finally became $1 million worth, I didn't feel any richer because I lived in the same fucking house. And now he's like, I have a $2 million house. Still feels the same. And I get what he's saying. Utilities. At that time, your utilities are probably going to be like $500. Lights. You got to think about this is in the future.
Well, it's a house. Well, yeah.
This is in the future.
Well, to be honest, like, just seeing how like a house is like this in the summertime and everything like that, dude, houses sneak up utilities wise. I would say on average, let's say $600. Oh, okay, $800. I'll do $750 just to be safe.
Okay.
I'll do $800 because I'm going to buy a nice $2 million house.
You got a $2 million house, and it's in the future. Okay, so that's and then food. You got kids and grandkids now, dude. They just come and eat your shit out of your fridge, dude.
I'm going to do like $2,500.
All right, and then medical. Like unless you like qualify for fucking Medi-Cal, like at that point, I don't know how that works, but I would assume you should have some like insurance fucking figured out at this point too.
It could be like $500 a month.
Yeah, let's just say your car's paid off, and then.
Car insurance, though.
Okay. Yeah, and then what else? Like, this is all the expense, right?
Yeah.
Just put miscellaneous another like $1,000, because.
Just to be safe.
Okay, so what is that? Just highlight them all, dude. Just fucking quickly. Okay, 7650. What is that times 12? So 91. So let's just round it up. Let's just say you need $100,000 per year to survive. Yeah. Your basic. This is you not taking one vacation. This is you not doing anything. You are simply just surviving 30, 35 years in the future. Am I right? This is not. You have not included any fun time or any fun stuff. This is strictly you are just living, existing on the plane.
So, yeah, I guess like this is assuming if I made $3 million after cash, right, and I spent $2 million on the house, and then I put $1 million on the market, right? I would put on the market that pays me 1% dividend each month, which would be if $1 million, that's 10%. Each month, so I'd make $120,000 in a year. So I'd be net positive $18,200.
Yeah, you're not, and you're not.
So you're right. I'm not living any. That's just covering the costs. That's just keeping the lights on.
Yeah, and what happens is because now you're starting to burn that money on your thing. There's also inflation, so your principal is going to start eroding faster.
Well, but that's where the 18% I just reinvest into the same thing.
So that means you're not doing anything. You're just surviving.
Well, correct. It's just covering the cost.
Yeah. So
But that's what my question was. So are you saying like $3 million and I retired, or $3 million, I could put myself in a very good position to say F you to anybody. You know what I mean? I get to work on whatever I want because everything that I kind of need to make everybody happy is covered, kind of thing. But after that, it's like, well, it's just upwards, you know?
Yeah. How much did you? I feel like realistically, like not realistically. I'm sure people could do it a lot less, but I feel like it's for me. I would want to be like like 8 or 9. That would make me feel.
Is that like your FU position or like you could retire? Because the FU position, I realize that I'll probably still work.
No.
But
That's
get
not
to
my
pick my
that's
job.
my where I that's if I have that I could quit my job.
It's like I could go work at the Apple Store if I wanted to. It's
Yeah,
like
but that's
because
not FU money yet. I can't be like like one like.
Well, I mean, I guess what I'm saying is like it puts you in the position to make your own decisions and not have to do something because you kind of have to.
Yeah, because I feel like at that point you can. I would take $1 million and buy like I would buy like rental properties. I would buy things that are like separate mix of assets, that are not just like dependent on one category. Like let's say I have certain things that are paying me dividends in the stock
I'm gonna ask
market.
you a question. I hear what you're saying, and I agree with you. Like you're right. Like how do you invest wisely to do that? But what's the point of it all? It's kind of like the businessman and the Mexican fisherman. It's like.
What's the point of it all? Like, what do you mean with the point?
Yeah, it's like, I mean, like, what, besides kind of like building wealth and the next generation, kind of but like, what is like the basic, immediate kind of like, what's going to make you stay up at night stressed? Everything like, here's the vision of like your dreams and everything like that. But what's the base of like, dude, this would mess me up?
I don't.
And I understand that means like really low. So maybe don't go to the lowest. But what do you need to do to make sure that you never have to worry about that little piece? And I get it. And it's very different than like building this grandiose wealth. Maybe to make sure that you have that little piece.
What is my least like? What can I do to build enough to cover my expenses?
Just to create your moat around like what you love. I guess you know what I mean. It's kind of like again like what I mentioned was just like your house, your cars. Like it's just like. The house over your head, the clothes on your back, and the food in your belly kind of thing, It's like...
Oh, she wants the wedgie, dude.
Yeah,
sorry. He's gonna bitch out, dude.
Well, I didn't want to answer my question, but...
I don't think there's a, like it's not a singular thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it is a... One, I think you got to figure out what that number is. Okay, let's go back to this, right? Like when I was working again, the same job, same boss that I was talking about with the house in Dana Point, he always said there's a number. Everyone has a number. Everyone works towards that number. And if you're young enough, you might not have figured out what that number is, but you will get to a point in your life when you figure that number out. And once you hit that number, you can retire. No longer have to think about anything. And, figure that number out. What is that number? Like,
For me to retire, that's a different number. For me to retire, I think that's a different number.
Yeah. So, I mean, that number could be anything. Like, but, like, I think that number has to be realistic. Like, if you think... Because then you can't just be like, this dividends pays me 6% on $1 million. That's, $60,000. And I'll have $60,000. That's not... Okay, that's not how that works. Okay, let's just time out, There's taxes still you have to pay. There's still, money that you lose from inflation. There's different positioning in the market, like you maybe pulled out at a wrong day when like the market was at a low. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like there's different factors that gets played when you're dealing with like millions of dollars, right? Like even $10,000, $15,000 makes a difference when you're talking about withdrawing money for like continuity over longer time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, but again, I tell people, I don't tell anybody. I talk about this all the time to like anyone that listens. Is like I use this thing. It's called, if you put it in, it's called monkey chimp. I think or money chimp. I think it's a money chimp. I don't want to say monkey chimp. Like that's kind of sounds. No, money chimp, dude. Like Okay, so it's just a compounding calculator, and all it does is allows you to see like what happens, right? And it really puts it to perspective. So like, let's say you are 30. How old am I? How old are you, Oscar? Now we're the same age now.
34.
34. We're 34. At what age do you want to realistically retire? Because I don't. Even if I like, unless I fucking win the lottery, I see myself working just because I just don't like. I like I want to work. Like I want to feel like I'm like.
I guess that's like my question is like, I mean, like, like the idea of it is like I don't want to stop working, It's like, but what do I need to just make sure that like I get to work at whatever I want to do?
Yeah, I know. I haven't
It's
figured that out yet. When I do, I'll let you know. When I have that much money, I'll figure something out to do. Anyways, but if you look at this, right? Like, let's say like you at this point in your life have, let's say, saved up like 50,000, right? Let's just start that as a base. You're 34, and then you're saving every year, and strictly just through your 401k, you can save like $15,000 into that, right?
Let's do that for sake of.
And then let's say you do that. How long? And then let's say you plan to work for your 35, so you plan to work for your 65, so another 30 years. And you're expecting market average, which is around 8%, I think. Right?
I don't know.
What is the S&P over the last 30 years?
The S&P over the last?
Yeah, S&P return over the last 30 years. Yeah.
S&P. Sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. A key aspect, approximately around 9 to 10%. Okay, let's just do 9.5.
When adjusted for inflation, the average real return is lower, around 6 to 3 or 6.7.
Let's not do the inflation stuff right now. Like, let's just like.
Let's do 8 then. Let's in the middle.
Whatever. Okay. You'll have 2, right? But let's just assume now, like, you max out your 401k, which is 23,000, and then let's say you, instead of retiring at, because you're probably gonna retire at 70 instead of 65, because that's usually how that works, right?
I think they push it back to 67 anyway. Yeah.
So let's just say you retire at 70 now, and because I think we live longer, right?
Within a few years, it jumps up to 5 million. Yeah.
Right, and then at 75, like like if you have that much, you can just like put all of that into like some like low. You could buy treasury bond that fucking probably pays you like 3-4%, and you'd be set, right? And if you have 2 people, like think about like if you have like a husband and wife that are doing that. Let's just say like they're doing like 50,000, and on average they are. And the wife retires a bit earlier, so they'll reduce this down to like 30. Yeah. But again, you could manage your own stuff. I think like, you can, I do my own, and I've been doing fucking like 18-19% over the last like 6-7 years. Like,
Okay, yeah.
So it's easy to get like, yeah, I think one of my 401k is at like 19% return over the last like 3-4 years.
Actually, the one that I have with Apple has done pretty well, actually.
So, but that puts you in perspective. So, Oscar, you have been watching this made-up version of the One Piece.
I have.
How far have you gotten?
About 4 hours in.
What has happened? I don't fucking remember, dude. A lot has gone down, dude.
I'll be honest, a lot has.
Alabasta is probably done. Yeah.
Yeah, it's what has happened. They have Alabasta is a restaurant, right?
No, Alabasta is the desert place where they fight the first warlord, Crocodile. Oh, where are you at? The restaurant is Baratier.
Yeah, we passed that.
That's where they meet Sanji.
They got Sanji already.
And then they go to
the Great Line.
The Grand Line, and then they go to Drum Island. I think that's the first one, where they find the Dr. Chopper. The little fucking reindeer-looking dude.
Yes.
And then
right after that.
And then after that, they go into
Joker Island or Joker or something.
Yeah. And then Whiskey Peak. Yeah, Whiskey Peak, and then it's and then it's alabaster.
I think I just got the alabaster.
Okay.
What does alabaster look like?
Alabaster is a desert kingdom. It's like it goes in like there's like this group called like Baroque Works. Have you met his brother? Ace?
Oh no! This is where I left. This is where I was at.
Oh, okay, so that's Luffy's brother Ace. So he's part of the Whitebeard pirate. He's the second commander of the Whitebeard pirate. Whitebeard is one of the emperors. So it's very like rare to see like an emperor's crew out in like the new world.
Out and about.
Yeah, no, they're usually in the new world. He's a big time pirate. He's a big shot. He's probably the highest bounty pirate that we see
So far.
Yeah, and for a good while in the show.
That's his brother?
That's his brother, yeah.
Very interesting.
Yep. He's also that's his like it's not his real brother, but like they grew up together. He's the son of Gold Roger, the king of the pirates.
Oh, he's a direct descendant?
Yeah. So basically what happens is right before he dies, he tells Garp, which is Luffy's grandfather, that, hey man, like, I'm gonna have a son, like, and he's like, what the fuck would you tell me? Like, I'm a Marine, like, I caught you, like, but he's like, you'll do the right thing. So Garp raises Ace as his own grandson. So he raises Ace and Luffy together, with another kid too on there, but so him, Luffy, and Ace grew up together.
That makes sense. Okay, that's why they know each other and everything like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it turns out that he's also the son of.
Yeah, and Ace has eaten a devil fruit.
Oh, as well.
Yeah, he has a Logia devil fruit. He has the fire fruit. Like he's a fucking.
He's a blazer.
He's strong, dude. He's like. Yeah, I mean, he's probably the strongest character we'll see for a long time, I would say.
I will say that little synopsis is cool. It's like a quick way to get like caught up and everything like that, but I feel like you really miss out on like
the details.
Yeah, like because like there's a scene that I recognize because when I started learning about Luffy and like everything that's kind of going on in the world, there's a scene where he's on top of the castle holding the flag, and they shoot the cannon at it, and he's still there holding the flag, and he says, "You'll never break down this flag," or some jazz like that. You know,
that hasn't happened in the show yet.
It did happen in the show. It's like in the first few episodes.
No,
I'll try to find it right now.
Oh, this?
Yeah.
Drum Island? Okay.
Yeah. And he says like some cool, sick ass lines saying, life of pirates and freedom and everything. And you don't get that in the synopsis, you know what I mean? It's
dude,
like
One Piece like has some straight fucking
it's like
lines,
it's
bro.
unbreakable. So, yeah, it's like so you miss those things.
Like I think okay. I don't know if you want. We can pull it up, dude. Just fucking pull it up. Look up Doflamingo's speech.
I know how to. This guy?
No. It is this guy, but I don't know what this speech is called. All pirates are a justice. Yeah, I think it's this. The justice. Yeah. Okay.
The Navy is just, but that's only true because history tells.
So he's one of the villains that we'll see later on the show. He's one of the.
Pirates are evil. The Navy is just, but that's only true because history tells us so. Children who've never known peace have different values than children who've never known war. The one who wins will rewrite the definition of right and wrong. They'll decide the future and how the past is written. Will justice prevail? Why, there's no other way. The winner will define the meaning of justice.
See, that's what I'm saying, man. You miss those like It's cool speeches and lines, just doing the synopsis, I guess. Yeah, it's like...
I mean, yeah. I mean, the show is peak, dude. There's nothing to get around. Like, so it's just like the character building, like the world building. It's just like, yeah, it's crazy. There's all different types of people. They're like, they're fishmen, right? Like they're the people that are this fish people that are just like, they have to live at the bottom of the ocean, and their whole goal has been like, we want to come up to the surface, like we want to feel like we're equal, like. Mm-hmm. But that's kind of idea that's very parallel across like society in general, right? Like, and there's government that's trying to silence history. There's government that's trying to like, basically there's this thing called a cipher pole. So the world government has this CIA type of agency called the cipher pole. Mm-hmm. And their whole job is to, go around, like, do, like, shady businesses and, like, like, do the government's dirty work.
And this is outside of the sanctioned pirates and everything like that.
Correct. So this is outside of, like, the Navy's system. The warlords still sit under the Navy's system. Mm. So there's the Navy, and then the cipher pole is, like, the CIA, like, spies of the world government. And there's different cipher poles, like cipher poles 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Like there's different
levels, like MI5.
Yeah.
MI6.
So that's really cool. But I mean, dude, it's like it's hard to explain, but like you realize there are certain people in the show that are born with like the hockey stuff we're talking about, like they're born with like king's ambition.
Yeah.
Like not everyone has that. Not everyone's, and there's a clear definition, and I think that's like a pretty common thing. Not everyone is going to be king. Mm-hmm. There's no like, yes, like like we want. There's like, it blends very well to like society of today's, like like. Not everyone is equal, right? Not everyone does have this fair opportunity. Not everyone excels or learns at the same rate. There are people that are gonna be better, but like like you hope people that are better are born with characteristics of like of doing good or whatever, right? But yeah, I mean it's fucking you got. I mean I don't know. I don't know how like. I've seen like those types of things where it's like 10, 15 hours long, but it's like as a recap, right? Like some of the stuff that I watched like is like years ago.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, like what happened at Whiskey Peak? I'm like, okay, let me go read this quick synopsis. Oh, like shit, I remember that. Okay, like cool. Because I don't want to go back and like fucking like
watch 100 episodes.
100 episodes of what happened. Like,
dude, it's 1,000 episodes, man. It's like again, it's like if you do the time 30, even if you cut all the commercials, 20 minutes.
What I would do is like this is what I would do.
Jesus.
I would watch it all the way up to like Sabaody.
5,000 hours. I know how to do math.
No, I would watch it all the way up to Sabaody, and then once you get to Sabaody, I would watch the Netflix of Sabaody. So I would start watching the Netflix of Sabaody. I would watch all the Netflix of like Impel Down and Marineford.
So the Netflix starts later on then.
So no, Netflix has episode from 1.
Oh,
but I'm just saying, like, cause like what, like all the way up to like to me, I think all the way up to like Sabaody is like I would say like I would start right at the end of Thriller Bark. So at the end of Thriller Bark, I would start watching it on like episodes by episodes, and then once you watch that all the way to Marineford, then you're not gonna be like able to turn it off. Like, I gotta fucking watch this thing.
You have to do the whole thing.
But like and then once you. Like, because then it picks up real fast. Like, the pace gets a little bit faster from an action perspective on the anime after you get done with Thriller Bark. Because Luffy's still, like, getting crews. His crew isn't complete yet. So, like, pirate crew. Because when he sets to sail out, he's like, I want to get 10 people for my crew.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. He said it's
cool. So, like, so is that 10 including him, or is that 10 other crew people, right? Like, so... and then they all have certain things. So, like, Sanji's the cook, Zoro's the fighter, like, Nami's the navigator, Usopp's the sniper. Eventually they'll get this guy named Frankie, who's, like, the the mechanic, like the ship maintenance mechanic, right? They get a singer, like they get a guy who's gonna keep the entertainment on the show.
So they get everybody, like every. Well,
Yeah, they end up getting like, so far in the show they have gotten 10, including Luffy.
yeah.
But like, is there supposed to be one more person? Like, you know,
What do you
I
mean?
think there's supposed to be one more person. Like, I think someone else is gonna join. Like one other member, and then the show is gonna join. Because right now, how it's setting up in the end game is like it's eventually gonna be his crew against like this other person's crew, right? And they need somebody. they're like one person, like just this crew has one guy who's just like, oh fuck, like
They need someone to compete.
yeah, like, you know, like Luffy, and then like that guy, the main dude, who's good, and they have a couple of like second, third people that are good too. But like, there's just one guy who just like is like fuck, like he's at like the captain's level. You know,
He's above Luffy, kind of thing.
he's at Luffy's level.
I see. So they have two at his level, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I see.
So.
Dude, I mean, it's an interesting story. I mean, I'll be honest. Like, I'm not letting it play and not watching it because I'm trying to pay attention. Like, I actually find it's interesting, you know. So I pause it. And that's why it's taking me so long. I'm only on like hour 3.5, I think. You know, it's like.
Yeah, I think it gets like I think even the animation gets a little bit better once you get to Thriller Bark, and basically what happens. So it's like Alabasta. He goes to Alabasta. Basically what's happening is this warlord is trying to take over this country, and Luffy's like, "Oh, like no, like I'm not gonna let you take over this country." So that's basically what happens. And then he goes from there to this town called Logetown. And then a little bit further, he goes into like... he goes into Water 7. I'm forgetting like a couple of episodes there. Long Ring, Long Neck or something like that. And then Water 7's fucking good. Like what happens is like the ship that they have... Gotta get a new ship, dude.
Damn, the original one.
The original ship. And Water 7 is like the ship. Like it's like their ship building capital of the world.
Okay.
So that's where they make the ship. So this is where they get that guy that builds the ship. He comes on the crew. So, and after that, they go into... basically, at that point, an event happens. Event is like Ace, his brother, gets captured. So Ace gets captured by the world government and set for execution. So Luffy's like, fuck, dude, I gotta fucking go save him. And then that's basically what the War of the Marine Ford is. So there's a big ass war that happens at the end of like the first half of One Piece, and it ends at the end of that war, and then it goes on a time skip. So Luffy goes on like I think 2 years, maybe 3 years. 2 year
Hiatus.
And then that's where he trains and becomes stronger.
That's what you told me last time about that. Yeah. Dude, it's a process, dude. But it is a cool story. I will say, like, I'm trying to understand. But again, it's like this is the synopsis. I feel like for me to understand why it's taking over the world, I have to actually watch it or hear the one-liners. You know, it's not enough to just hear the synopsis. In my opinion,
Yeah.
So far, from watching only like 7 episodes and some clips, and versus watching the synopsis, like those 7 episodes were actually pretty good. Like I didn't mind them; they were pretty entertaining. You know, it's like,
Yeah, I mean, I think the big theme around the show is like a man without a dream is nothing. Like that seems to be a constant theme around the show, and men or people with ambition will always have dreams.
Yeah,
that's not gonna ever go away. And then there's always a theme of like parallel folks. There's always like 2 of something. There's always a 2. There's always like for each one of you, there's somebody on this side. Like like that's kind of usually how that works.
Someone who's ambitious is like someone who's not ambitious.
No. There's like there's always if you're ambitious, there's always somebody else that's also ambitious, but for the wrong reason.
I see.
There's always good to evil. There's always something to balance that out. Like
I see.
So
The positive versus negative kind of thing. Yeah,
Right.
the two balances kind of pop out.
And then
It's
one of
also
them,
like justice. There's a heavy theme about justice, obviously, about doing the right thing.
yeah. And then what is a devil fruit? Like where does it come from? Questions like that, like, and how many of them are there? Like,
Because they kind of mentioned there's like different hierarchies of kind of devil fruit and everything like that.
yeah, there's a hierarchy of devil fruit. There's like rare devil fruit. There's like,
Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, like Luffy's devil fruit, like is. So right now, so the world government, one of their fucking ops is like trying to like fucking make sure like the devil fruit that Luffy has is hidden from history. Because like certain type of, they're called zoans, right? Zoan devil fruit have a will of their own because they're usually like based off like a character, like a tiger or a lion, a leopard, like, or a mythical creature like a phoenix or like or a god creature, right? But they all have a soul of their own. And then the soul chooses the user, right? So the world government has been trying to like get this devil fruit that Luffy has, but it's always evaded them. Mm-hmm. They try to change the name so people don't know about it, and they never found it. And it's a god type devil fruit.
So he ate a super rare devil fruit.
He ate it took basically it seems like the
most rare.
The most rare devil fruit that's been eluding the world government for the longest time, like 900 years, right? So, and he doesn't even know that yet.
Yeah.
Because he has to unlock that form. Like, so he has to go through the progression of his fruit, like, because like you reach like so all devil fruit can unlock.
Yeah.
All devil fruit have an ability to reach that next level. But
So
then you have to
the basic ability doesn't mean that's just like the basic ability essentially, yeah.
Yeah, so like think of it like from like a Luffy, right? Luffy has their gum fruit, so his ability of a rubber.
Yeah.
But essentially his fruit is called, it's a god fruit, which is basically called like the Hito no Mi model Nika. Right? And essentially what this fruit does is once unlocked allows you to basically it has tune force almost.
Yeah,
So it allows you to just bend the reality, like
Well, he can't be hurt, kind of thing. Yeah,
not even hurt. Like you can just basically even allows you to come into the fourth dimension.
Yeah,
It come and talk to the author. Like he is basically like in essence, like he would be the most strongest thing to ever exist because you can rewrite reality.
Yeah,
You have that type of power. Like at this point, right? Like you're omnipotent.
Interesting.
But he doesn't know that yet. He doesn't fucking know what the fuck's going on. He just like
all he has is just these stretching
and these
kind of
fruit,
abilities.
Eventually, what's going to happen, I think, is fruit's going to take over his body. Like the fruit, because the fruit is a god. So eventually, that fruit is going to come, like
and take
creeping more and more. The more you use it, the more it probably takes some sort of like toll on you and shit. I think that's what they're going to eventually do. But again, there's
like
different There's a different levels of these types of devil fruit, right? Like, and again, devil fruit's not everything, right? You learn later, like this thing called hockey, like that your willpower transcends everything.
Yeah,
right.
That's outside of the devil fruit as well. That's like your soul.
So basically, the strongest of the strongest people don't have it. They don't have a devil fruit.
They have hockey.
Because the whole thing is like hockey transcends everything.
I see.
Like even like Luffy's grandfather, right? They call him the hockey man.
Not because he's not NHL.
He just throws hands.
Yeah.
Hands.
Missing all his front teeth.
Like Shanks, right? Shanks is also known as the hockey man.
So he has kind of the same.
Of everybody alive in the show, he's said to have the strongest hockey. So he's just like he's goated. Right, but I would assume other characters too, like Mihawk or like.
Sure, if they found out, or if they figured out how to tap into their hockey, I'm sure there's other.
Yeah, even like Zoro, right? Zoro, Sanji, these guys all become like hockey experts. So the crew, like all get like stronger as they go, right? Like think about it, like right now they're like Luffy's the only one that probably has a bounty. Eventually, like Zoro's bounty where I'm at right now is like $1 billion plus. Sanji's $1 billion plus. Like. $1 billion bounty is like you're a threat. You're part of an emperor's crew. You're like a.
You're a threat to society, and
you are considered like you have a flee on sight order.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not to be messed around with. Like, there's a scene that comes on the most recent episode on Netflix, and it's like these robots on this, it's called Egghead Island, are surrounding the Luffy's ship, and Luffy's just calm, everyone's calm, and then the robot's like, "Oh, I have you guys under control," and then the message comes on the robot head and says, like, "You see that guy right there? He's not even flinching. He already knows you're already dead if you make a move. That's that's Zoro.
Yeah.
You know, like his bounty's over $1 billion. Like, you know, it's like they're all like up here. You know, like they've all gotten uber strong along with like
their name now just kind of strikes fear, and they don't even have to do anything. They just have to say,
they're like Zoro is the first commander of an emperor's crew.
Yeah.
Like, you know, he's like, he's like, you can hold his own against like an admiral, even, like, you know.
He's proved it, kind of thing. Yeah.
Right. So,
dude, it's wild, man. It's crazy. It's a good story. I mean, we're gonna keep watching and everything like that. So, I'll keep you updated next week as well. Next week, we're gonna be out. I'm gonna be in Mexico next week.
Yeah.
So, celebrating my mom's birthday.
Where are you guys going? To Cabo?
Jiquilpan, Michoacan.
What is that?
The town is called Jiquilpan.
Okay.
The state is called Michoacan.
Is there a resort? Where are you going?
No, it's just it's a small city. It's called Jiquilpan, and that's where we're going. We're gonna stay at a hotel. Normally we stay at that's where my uncle still lives there, but at the house that was you have to move that thing on the screen.
Oh.
We're staying at the house that was my grandparents' house. Usually we used to stay there, but we're staying at a hotel this time. So
you know what would be lit, dude? I always thought about this. Like, the same guy that owns a house at Dana Point, this motherfucker also had a house, like, I think like 30, 40 miles south of San Diego, like into Mexico, on the beach. Like, he said he bought the house for like $100,000, like 2001, 2002. Mm-hmm. He's like, it's on the beach, like 6-bedroom, like, you know, he's like, we get like helpers, like, you know, that come in, they make food, and he's like, I just go there. I go there every weekend. It's like, fuck, that's lit. It's lit, dude.
Dude, I love Mexico, dude.
I would if that was available, I'd fucking go. Like, that's, imagine this from here, 30 miles south of San Diego, on the beach, and the house already has everything. The house already has, like, you got a house with a pool and on the beach.
Yeah, you know, back to, like, I guess, like, to that initial question, it's kind of like, yeah, you can have all those things that you want. It's just, like, depending on where, like, how and where, you know. It's like, you can have a beachfront property if you want in Mexico, you know, or do you want it in Dana Point? You know, it's like, and those are two different kind of.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, dude. I feel like, I mean, I don't know. The thing is,
who knows when you're 70 years old, right?
Right. Like, well, you're like, you know, yeah.
At that point, it's like, dude, Boston could be like, he's a billionaire. He's like, dude, Dad, I'll go visit you in Puerto Vallarta if you want, dude. He's like, okay, yeah, come to my beach house whenever you want, dude. He's there every weekend, and it's like,
yeah, probably not gonna happen.
You never know, dude.
You know, he is kind of funny though. Like, so he's all about his money, dude. It's so funny.
That's what I'm saying.
He's all about his money. We play this game, and he's like, no, let me, like, I was like, he's like, so we play restaurant where I'm the customer, and then so he comes up, he's like the waiter, he takes the order, and then he like, and my wife's the chef. So we go in, like, he takes the order, he takes it to mom. She, you know, basically pretend like has like burgers and shit. Pretend brings it to me, and then he's like, money, please. I'm like, dude, what?
I haven't finished eating.
And then he's like, no, money, please. And then I give him money, and then he goes and counts and he's like, more, please. It wasn't enough. You had 3 things. I'm like, dude, like, what the fuck? How old are you? Like,
wait till he figures it out. Yeah. Right? He's gonna be writing down checks, keeping the whole ledger going and everything.
But, you know, I don't know. I feel like that's, you know, financial literacy is, I feel like, a topic to be taught early in life than later. So you need to be aware. Like,
yeah, I 100% agree. You know, I think it's something that it's like, the more you know. It's, why do people get ahead? Is because their parents let them know about things that other kids
compounding interest, dude. One thing, if you can ever teach somebody.
Hold on, just think about like the idea of compound interest. It's like, if you ever heard that as a kid or had that idea or were exposed to that, like, how different do you think your life would be versus like a kid who's just not ever exposed to that?
Yeah, I mean, I think the best thing, like, you can do, and I think I'll do this, is the best thing you can do is like let's say you So I think teaching them like buying a stock, like as one of their things, like building out. Hey, like you're gonna like you do this, then let's say you go buy something at Starbucks, right? Oh, I want to go spend $5. Okay, you want to do that? You also have to buy $5 of Starbucks like stock, like. So I want to show you how this works. You know, so they see it. Okay, I spent $5. That coffee's gone. But guess what? This is $5. In 2 weeks, that $5 might be $6. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, whatever. Like, but the point is, like, it's not going to be $6 in like 2 weeks. I just want to say.
You never know.
But the point is, like, hey, like, understand this idea of like, this is how this actually works. Each dollar you add on consumption is money made to somebody else. Right? That's just like kind of the basic idea. But like, these companies' goals are to make money. So if you invest in companies, you'll make money. As simple as it is. All companies exist in the world to make money. And if you have a company that does not make money, close that company. And capitalism. Yeah, dude. On the long run, dude, like all stocks go up, dude. Stonks. Hey, gang.
Or you die. That's it.
Or you die.
It's only two options in life. Thank you for coming to episode 33. We love you. We're gonna go do a wedgie right now. So
Yay!
that way we could appease Lena Lauren finally.